What up, what up? This is Unscripted on the Serato Twitch channel. I'm your host, Matt Perry, aka Cut Corners, and this is what we do. Every now and then we have a great guest come on the show, and we get to talk about music for a whole hour and a bit. And this week's guests, I'm very, very excited to introduce you, are an innovative duo. Both have incredible careers on their own, which kind of makes them a super group. I'm very pleased to welcome to the show Jake One and Mayor Hawthorne, who together make Tuxedo. Please welcome to them to the show.
What up? Hell yeah, applause!
Oh yeah, we got.
Man, I'm fucking up. Yo, I need that applause button for my show. Man, this is already making my show look so unprofessional.
we got a lot of sounds. We got the air horn.
Yeah, we're gonna. But do you? The thing you don't have though is the hoe button, which is the thing that you really need the most.
Damn, is that?
Let me see if I can get it.
Oh yeah, I definitely need that.
Hoe button.
Yo, we need to record it.
We'll get one in the mail to you ASAP.
Thank you so much. What's up, guys? It's great to have you on the show. I definitely fucks with the Tux, and I'm here to get into the history. A little bit of the history for the people. We got a lot of DJs that tune into the show, and I'm sure a lot of the DJs already been running your tracks. I know I have. But one of the first things actually I wanted to get into is about DJing, and I heard that you guys actually started collaborating via a series of mixtapes. Can you guys talk a little bit about like what those mixtapes can, like how you guys got into the idea of doing a mixtape collaboration, or how you guys heard of each other even? Oh.
I don't have you, Jake. You're we can't hear you.
Oh, you've muted yourself. Let's get you back in here somehow. There we go. No.
1 2.
1 2 1 2.
This is already going really well.
It's all good. Let's just give a moment. Do you want to come back in on the call there, Jake? Just join that link again. All right.
I'll in the meantime, I can kind of talk about the mixtape thing. We actually didn't. It was 2 individual mixtapes. So we met at a hip hop show, a rap show in Seattle where Jake lives, and we exchanged mixtapes backstage. But I had done this mixtape called Shoot the Duck that was all like basically like early 80s roller disco boogie jams. And then Jake had done this mixtape called AR Music, and I was like fully expecting him to give me a mixtape of, I was like, oh, this is Jake One, great beat writer. And I was like, this guy's going to give me a mixtape that's going to be all like rap beats. And there was no rap on it at all. It was all like early 80s boogie funk stuff. And I just, at the time, it's very hard to understand now in 2021 what it was like in 2008. Or what? When even maybe earlier than that.
It might have been like 2006 or 7, I think.
2006 or 7 or something.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about disco funk then. Like nobody. It was not cool.
It was more like early 70s funk, like Cut Chemist and them guys, what they were doing with that type stuff. So I think like Gap Band adjacent type stuff was not looked at as cool. I mean, I used to get in arguments with people on Soulstrate about this back in the day. You know, it was like very much like that's not the real funk. You know, like
right,
because it wasn't recorded on 4-track or whatever.
It was not cool, and all those records were in the dollar bin.
Oh yeah,
at the time, and we were just. I don't know. At the time I had never met another person who was like into this kind of music, and I was like, "Holy shit! There's another person on the earth that actually cares about this like early '80s weird like kind of post disco funk."
It was really Yeah, it was like the guy, really like when we would bid on records, even like the rare versions of these things, just French guys.
Right.
Like that's all that we'd be battling with on eBay or wherever I was getting it. Those are the only people who really cared a lot, you know. And they put me onto a lot of stuff because I'd see what they would bid up. I'm like, I need to buy this, man. Because I just trusted their taste after a while.
Right, right. The French funky.
Absolutely. Was there a specific record that you guys found like that was really quintessential to that sound for you, or that you bonded over?
I think a lot of it came from, I mean, like that era of funk's like the first music I really remember. So, you know, I knew the popular groups when I was a little kid, Cameo and Gap Band. And I mean, that stuff is like the soundtrack to me being 5, 6, 7 years old. Everybody was playing that. Now later on, once G-Funk happened and then Warren G sampling One Way, or, you know what I mean? Like, and not like the obvious ones. They would like flip something that was like a little off kilter, not a hit. It just piqued my ear, and I just got into it a lot more for that reason. Or, you know, Battle Cat redoing like a random Ray Parker Jr. that wasn't a single, wasn't a hit, you know, for Corrupt. Like, I just thought that was so dope. And that kind of sparked my interest in it. And then we just started looking for like, oh, well, Bobby Broom, I don't really like this one album he has. It's more jazz, but he did a later album that's more like, you know, Bernard Wright, basically. So it's like, you know, finding like the one or two joints every artist did during that era, because they all end up making a record like that at some point, you know.
Right.
There's one artist actually in particular that I was wondering if you guys, maybe Mary, you can speak on, being from Detroit, is Kevin McCord.
Yeah.
He's one of these composers that seems to have a lot of tracks with a lot of different artists. Like, you know, what's her name? Alicia
Myers.
Alicia Myers. Yeah, he's produced for her, and then he did the other one with oh man, I'm totally gapping here, but
I mean, all the One Way stuff. I mean,
that's right.
He did a lot. Yeah, I mean, and even like there's independent ones he did after.
Yeah, Carmen, I think, is the one I'm thinking of. Time to Move.
Carmen, right.
Yeah.
Throw Down.
So, and there was another girl that he did named Candy with a Y. And I remember, I will never forget buying a copy of the Candy LP in a record store in Detroit. And I got it home, and I like pulled the record out, and Kevin McCord's business card fell out of there. And I have Kevin McCord's like OG business card.
Wow. Yeah, shout out Kevin McCord. I know, I got a chance to meet him when I was in Detroit a few years ago. He's still around.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, his legacy, I feel like, is really a big part of that sound, that 80s funk sound. Yeah.
He had a way of like, he just had a way of doing like a real simple bass line with just like 2 chords, but it always worked. Like, it was always immediately infectious. Like hip hop, you know, like his stuff sounds like hip hop, you know, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I was able to find some of the AR4 mix on Soul Strut that you're talking about there, Jake One. I'm going to try and get it in the chat. But while I'm trying to figure that out, I wasn't able to find any mixes by DJ Haircut, unfortunately. Oh no, we lost Mayor just as I was about to talk about Haircut. Let's get him back.
I still have the CD somewhere.
Oh yeah,
there's like a girl on the front, like wearing roller skates, like doing this move or whatever. I think he might. Yeah, he's on the cover, I think, too.
He's coming back. Here we go. There we go. We were just
my bad, you guys. I got a phone call and got cut out for a minute. Of course, nobody want to call me all day long. And then as soon as I get on the interview, they want to blow me up.
It's all good. We were just getting into the legacy of DJ Haircut. I was saying I couldn't find any mixtapes from DJ Haircut.
Yeah, that was like I did a couple volumes of the Shoot the Duck thing that was like all the roller boogie stuff. But nobody cared about DJ Haircut.
Were you on, am I bugging, or you were on the cover of one of them though too, right?
I was on the cover of
There was the girl doing the thing with her leg in the air with the roller skates on. And you're on the cover,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, I got that. I was in the shot.
Nice. But
The other one I jacked the high fashion album cover with the girl
Right,
doing her
right, right,
makeup in the
right. Yep.
mirror.
classic. I do, however, want to show you guys something that I did find, just related to haircut, very briefly. That I was able, when I did Google search for DJ haircut, I did find
Yeah.
this.
Oh
Uh,
no.
it's in the LA area. It's DJs all about hair. So if you are looking for a haircut and you're a DJ, this might be the spot if you're in the LA area.
Everybody would ask me, like, they would just kind of assume that since my name was DJ Haircut that I cut hair, and I would always have to just be like, man, yeah, I don't, my bad, like I don't do that. I'm a DJ.
I have to say though, you always got a fresh cut, always looking good on the hair. So I see where it comes from.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, I think that was kind of where it came from originally. But somebody, my group that I was in, I was the DJ for a rap group in Detroit, and they named me DJ Haircut.
oh, it wasn't even a choice. It just got put up on you.
I think I showed up to rehearsal one day, and I had just come from the barber and had the clean. I mean, I used to get like lines in my hair and shit, and I came to rehearsal that day, and they were like, "Oh, you DJ Haircut now," and that was just it.
That's awesome. But
Yeah.
you do mixes, like you did the very merry Xmas mix for Stone's Throw, and you also got the Hawthorne radio series. Can you just like tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about like what you're trying to achieve with the Hawthorne radio? Like you got like 50 odd episodes up right now.
Yeah, I did a million of those. That was basically me just trying to like do my own like imaginary radio show because I got kind of like obsessed with these like vintage, they call them air checks
Oh yeah.
from like the 60s and 70s, and it was like literally them like testing the network to make sure that everything was working okay, but they would just record the radio broadcast from like WKRP in whatever Toledo, Ohio for an hour, and there's like a group of people that trade them on the internet, and it's like it's amazing. You
Yeah.
just like being able to listen to an hour of radio from like 1978 or whatever is just like incredible to me. And then I was like, nobody there, this just doesn't exist anymore. And I was that initially it started with me trying to like kind of just create my own like imaginary old school radio hour.
Oh man.
And then yeah, now I've kind of like transitioned into doing the wine and vinyl thing where I do it live.
The air checks though you're talking about specifically. You guys, yeah, cool. I got you there. Was something that I wouldn't mind actually just talking about. My father was a radio DJ from New Zealand, and he
Oh
used to
wow.
do these used to do an air check. He would travel to Los Angeles or New York, and he'd do like research, and he'd go and he'd record on the air for an hour, basically exactly what you're saying, Mayor. And he had these cassette tapes of like what the wave is, I guess now, from back in the '80s. And just to your point, you listen to those mixes, and you're hearing DJs like the development of blends and DJing and songs that they only exist on vinyl. They're only like these kind of songs that will never ever be released properly for whatever legal reasons, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I found out I found out about a bunch of amazing songs that I never had heard before from these things. Like, cause it's just, man, they used to just play whatever local cool thing,
Hmm.
and I don't know, it just like doesn't exist anymore. There's nothing like that.
Absolutely, it is cool though. Like I was talking to a while on this podcast ago. We talked to J Rock, who I know you guys know very well as well, and he
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
a lot
of course.
about LA radio and how it
Oh yeah.
really affected him as a youth and influenced him as a DJ. It's really great to hear how it also affected you guys and how important it is for your development as DJs. But
Yeah.
can you just tell me a little bit a bit about like what DJing means for you both and what you guys like to try and achieve as DJs?
Um, I think for me, I started off as a DJ before I even started making beats, and I think I realized early on, like what I thought a DJ was supposed to be doing wasn't what the people wanted. Because what I wanted was people to play new music that, you know, I wanted to be put up on something. That was what I was hoping for. And, you know, some of my early gigs, I would go up there and play. I'm like, I got this song you don't know, and it's so dope. They would not care. So I kind of fell back from it from a long time. Like, I'll DJ every once in a while, but it's just something like I feel like I never really was going to be the person playing the song you wanted to hear when you came in there. That wasn't really about the DJs that I grew up loving. They didn't do that. They put me up on music. So like, it's a weird, you know, there's certain people who can really pull that off. I mean, J-Rock, probably the best I've ever seen it, going into a room and playing songs that they are not there to hear, but he makes them, he's so good at DJing, he gets them into it.
He's so good.
And I definitely never made it to that level of DJing, but I respect it. And I wish that's what I could do.
We do our own version of that when we DJ as Tuxedo.
1000%. Yeah.
Because we definitely are playing, you know, Rick James, Give It To Me Baby, and, you know, whatever, Zapp, you know, More Bounce to the Ounce. But then in between there, we're playing some very obscure gospel boogie thing that, like, nobody came for, but you're getting it anyway.
Well, even
that's what we
even
want.
like when we play, like, you know, Give It To Me Baby, like, we did our own remix of that we play. You know, we don't just, like, I don't know. It's, to me, it's like anybody could be the person playing the hit songs. Like, so if you're coming to see us, then you're to me, you should be coming to see something that you're not going to get from everybody else. And what's cool about Tuxedo and like our DJ gigs is people are there to hear that. So it's not like you're playing for, you know, drunk party goers on a Friday. They're just like, man, I just want to kick it. Don't ruin my night with your bullshit. You know? So like, it works. It works out for all of us, I think.
It works well for us. Yeah, we are extremely fortunate that we've gotten to a place now where people are coming to see us DJ and play what we like. And they're not just coming to get drunk and party. But, you know,
I just can't imagine if they threw me up on like Friday night or whatever the hot club is, like what would transpire. It'd be a good social experiment, I guess, but I just would have no clue on what to do.
I mean, the main goal, I mean, the way I've always looked at DJing is if you're not making people dance, then there's something you're fucking up. Like, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. But this Rick James Tuxedo remix, where can one procure this? Is this only exclusive to the Tuxedo Live DJ set?
We have many remixes that we made.
There's
that we
so
only
many.
When we DJ. Now that particular one, they had actually Universal was gonna put it out, and then the guy who was making that happen left, which is kind of the story of like what a lot of these big companies. We are actually working on a couple of new Tuxedo remixes that are going to get put out officially of classics, which is exciting that they kind of came to me to do. So that'll be coming soon, and that's like exciting that, you know, people get to hear them. Though part of me is selfish and I just want to have it from when we play. So I guess I'll just have to let that go.
We'll make more.
That's dope. I'm excited to hear him. Can you tell us anything about the artist, perhaps? I mean, I don't want to pry too much.
Well, the one that I did already is for Fat Larry's band, Act Like You Know.
Okay, a certified classic.
Which is actually owned by Unidisc in Montreal. So,
hey, shout out Unidisc.
Shout out Walla P.
Yeah, Voyage Fantastique. Yeah, bonjour. Yeah. Those guys are the homies.
Yeah.
Bonjour. Indeed.
Yeah. So speaking of Unidisc, as you guys are both avid record collectors, I know that you guys both have tons of records. Can you guys tell me about what your favorite format is? You guys are 12-inch mixes. You're into the 7 inches. You know, 10 inches. What's your preferred format for DJing?
As far as DJing, I still like playing the big records personally. I like 12 inches and LPs, but you know, when you're traveling and have to play like a vinyl party, 45s is kind of really the only way that it kind of makes sense. So I've been getting off into that a little bit, and you know, they're making such better 45 pieces that you can actually really DJ with them. But man, it's when you start DJing with 45s, you're not gonna be DJ Coco up there. It's gonna be some bumps in the road.
Yeah, so. It's definitely technically considerably more difficult, but I have definitely personally been like gravitating way more towards the 7 inches lately.
It's a space thing so too, much
it's a space thing, it's a weight thing. Like we did our time carrying them heavy ass crates around, man. Yeah. I'm ready. I love pulling up with like a little tiny case of 45s and spinning all night off of that. There's something really fun about that. And there's just like certain things that are just only available on 7-inch that are just so unique.
I do notice when we play purely records, in a way I feel like I'm DJing better because there's so much less stuff to choose from. So I'm more focused on how can I play this the best way, and I feel like when I get trapped in computer world, there's too many options and like I freak out sometimes.
Well, I think a lot of like we spend a lot of time usually like before a DJ gig, like if we're going to use Serato,
we got paired
down. We will literally we will make the smallest playlist ever.
Yeah.
Because if you have too much stuff in your box, it's overwhelming and you're not going to be as good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You can stream in Serato now too, so you've got even more unlimited possibilities.
Man,
yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Definitely preparing a set as a way to go for me even as well. I even got a couple of your 7 inches and a couple of your 12 inches, and I wanted to talk a bit about those too actually, because you guys have some extended disco 12-inch mixes. One in particular was done by David Morales, the Eminem disco mix, which is
John Morales.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry,
John Morales.
John, my bad. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, John. That guy's a legend. He's remixed everything. Like it's all the classic funk records seem to have a Morales mix.
He's more of a legend than anybody even knows.
Right. Yeah, and he, it's funny with him. We liked just what he was doing with the Eminem series and how like he had the older songs hitting a lot harder than they did, the mixes they did originally. So we first got the Tuxedo album done. We were like, man, let's try to get this dude to mix it. So we sent it to him. He probably never listened to it. And then he was somewhere and he told me the story like, oh, somebody was like, yeah, those guys Tuxedo are good, man. You should take that job. And then he ended up doing it. But he didn't even know who we were or care. And, he ended up being our friend. Like, and I talk to him all the time. Like, he's a great guy. Like, he's really family. So it's dope to, like, get his cosign. And he'll let me know, oh, man, I don't know about that one. I didn't like that one. I remember when we did the second album, he was like, this is a lot better than the first album.
It's good to have people like that, though, right? On your side.
I love it,
Yeah. No, he's not sugarcoating anything, man. He's a no nonsense. Like, he's giving it to you straight. Like, he will tell you if your shit sucks.
Wow. I mean, he's probably heard so many records too. I mean, his catalog, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and we went to his house and even and worked on the second album, like mixed it over there.
Oh wow!
So I got to see his environment, his Axel Foley plaque, amazing. And
Yep. Yeah.
It's crazy some of the stuff he was part of. Like you just would never know.
He mixed Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
What? Which record?
He mixed Hall & Oates 1-on-1 or something like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, his discography is foolish.
It's really crazy. Yeah, it's amazing. And he just, I feel like he does like have exceptional taste in the stuff that he takes. So like,
right.
We were definitely felt good about what we were doing because he was on board with it. We were like, okay, yeah, this is a very good sign that we're on to something good here.
Yeah, and
Morales likes it.
Yeah, if anyone is in the chat and wants to check out John Morales, the Eminem mixes, I mean, I think there's a couple compilations floating around out there where it's just like all these extended disco mixes. I got one pretty late on, and I was just like astounded at the quality of tracks that he remixed. The compilations are incredible, and I mean, shit, if you can get them digitally, however you want to, load them into your Serato, you got a banging set right there, just all Eminem mixes. It's
right, you could just play that. That's
what he does.
Yeah.
He's still
gonna give you like
DJs.
11 minutes of a song. He's always messing with us about our songs aren't long enough. Man, you make this one like 14 minutes.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
He's always trying to extend them out.
Yeah, because that's that concept that I think that's also worth just discussing a little bit, is this the extended disco mix versus what as hip hop DJs, we're always trying to play maybe like 2 minutes max of a song if you're lucky.
Right.
Whereas disco is we got like 8, 10, 15-minute mixes.
Right.
Yeah,
you need time to like pull out your little,
you got to go do drugs for a while,
pour a line on the desk, and
damn, it's true. So just while we're talking about remixing, I also wanted to talk to you guys a bit about, you guys did Watch the Dance Battlecat remix that one, right?
Oh yeah.
And K-Tronada did one as well. Incredible remixes, guys, and specifically Battlecat. I really want to touch on Battlecat because I feel like Battlecat doesn't get quite as much attention. I mean, everyone knows K-Tronada and how amazing he is, but Battlecat's kind of got this catalog that's really deep, and it was really cool to see that you guys got him on a remix, and it's a fire remix.
Well, Battlecat, he's in the tier of like people that when we made this, if he doesn't like it, then we're doing it wrong. So like,
then we're doing it wrong. Yeah.
I knew him from before Tuxedo, and I played it for him, early on, and he was just like, man, this is tight. He's like, I want to do a beat on this, and that's how I knew we had something.
Wow.
With the remix, we went to his studio, which was actually the studio they did NWA in. I don't remember where it was, Torrance or something like that.
Yeah, it's in Torrance. Yep.
We told them like, all right, so whatever you did, like G'd Up and We Can Freak It was like, we want that equipment. So he pulled out like the most broken up MPC. It was like, he was
literally like blowing the dust off of these pieces of equipment that he hadn't used in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
wow.
we kind of told him what we wanted. And the crazy thing about it is he just literally hit a click track and played everything live for like 3 minutes straight. Like,
everything.
Holy.
We were just, I think that was the tightest shit I've ever seen in person, like in music in my career.
It was one of the most impressive things we've ever seen. I mean, he did that whole remix live, basically in front of us.
Far out, dude. That's insane.
And then turned around and was like, "Is that cool?" And we were like, "Yeah, that's good. That's gonna work."
Wow. We were just sitting there bugging out, like,
Yeah, we were losing our shit.
I mean, yeah. Like, can you just tell us a bit more about like maybe some of your favorite tracks of Battlecat? Because I know you guys He worked on the track with you guys on. And
he was also on the third album on My Way, and he actually played.
And On My Way.
We had him play a show with us for Tuxedo 3 tour in LA, right. Which was just nuts.
Nuts.
But I mean, I'd say like he might have like 50 songs that I really like, but my favorite Battlecat production is probably Eastsider's G'd Up, personally.
Yeah, G'd Up is up there, yeah.
When I heard that, I was just like, okay, this nobody's doing it quite like this. Like when Goldilocks says sounds like Battlecat upstairs with Zapp. I mean, that's what it sounded like.
That's what it sounded like.
And he really just nailed it,
I'm gonna play this. Can I play the Eastsider's G'd Up? Can I just play the instrumental? I'm just gonna.
Sure.
I feel like this is a good time to run that, so people get some idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Battlecat instrumental for the Eastsider's G'd Up. I gotta stop that one pretty quick before the DMCA police get on us. But man, that pocket is insane, right?
And it's also insane, like when you hear that, you're like, oh, he probably really did everything live, because it moves in the way he moves when he's like dancing or making the beat. He told me it all comes from like him being like a pop locker back in the day. And that's how his beats sound, like the rhythm of it. It's, you know, people be like, but what's the swing percentage? It's like, no, that's him. It's his rhythm. Him. You know? It's not.
He's literally not. Yeah, he's not even. There's no quantizing of anything at all. Like it's just the way that he played it live is the way that it sounds. That's his pocket.
That's beautiful. Honestly, like I feel like that's real amazing. Just to know that.
It's extremely aspirational shit.
1000%.
And what I really love about like any producer that can do this is like it just sounds like Battle Cat too. Like even all the instruments, like Cinder James in the chat said the Chris Smears that clap that he uses, like he used it on your remix. And
that's what he used on a remix. We were like, pull that up.
We were like, we need that clap. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's so cool too, because you can hear the lineage of Zapp. You can hear like, you know, all the Kashif in there as well. It's all like, oh, it's beautiful. And I obviously hear that in Tuxedo too. You guys obviously have a lot of shared history and shared favorites in the music that you guys make. And you guys worked with Zapp as well on was it Shy?
Yeah, Shy.
Yeah. So remaining members of Zapp, of course, rest in peace, Roger Troutman. Can you just tell me a little bit about working with Zapp? Like, what was that like?
That happened basically because we did our first show in Japan, 2015. We went on before Zapp. You know,
damn,
we were pretty hot at that point.
I still have nightmares about this shit.
Yeah, we were just like, oh my god, they know all the words. You know, we didn't know that they cared about us like that. So we're coming off stage feeling good, and then Zapp just came out there and just destroyed it, like just whooped our ass so crazy.
They blew us off the stage.
Wow.
Like legit blown off the stage. I'm backstage and I'm talking to Lester Troutman Jr. And he's like, man, I've been looking for you guys, man. He's like, I can't believe how you guys, he's like, first of all, I can't believe that's what you look like. Because I'm listening to the record and I don't think that's what it's supposed to be. And he was like, you know, he wanted to do music with us. And he was like, I feel like you guys could do our sound better than we can right now. Like, and I was like, all right, well, here's what we'll do. Let's make one. So Mayor was at my house. Like, they had sent us a demo to sing on and come up with something. And we were like, this don't sound like Zapp enough. So we kind of reproduced the beat at my studio. I want to say it was like day of the Super Bowl. For some reason, I remember that. So we were like downstairs making the beat, go up, watch the Super Bowl. It was like, I don't remember what year it was, but we sent it to them, and Mayor did the vocals on it, and they were just like, "This is it," you know. They were
like, "Oh my god, you guys did us better than we could."
Right.
That's the best compliment you can get, though, right?
Yeah, well, to be able to do it with them was just like, I mean, you just don't even think that's possible. That wasn't something when we started this that was even. Right. You know, there's no way I would have pictured like, oh, we're gonna do a song with Zapp. We're gonna do multiple shows with Zapp, huh?
Right.
Like, nah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Right. Like I was just researching before this, and I was like looking at all the guests that you guys have worked with. You've just worked with just so many legends, and it's so amazing. But I do want to talk specifically about your latest single, "Doing My Best." I'm gonna pull that up. I want to play that for a second. Because it's a fantastic video. It's really good. I love this video, and we'll talk a little bit about it after the song. So let's run "Doing My Best" by Tuxedo, and the video. Let's go. For you, baby. I can't be nobody else. I can only be myself. Just doing my best for your loving. I can't be no one but me. Baby, can't you see I'm just doing my best?
no one but me. Baby, can't you see I'm just doing my best for you, baby? I can't be nobody else. I can only be myself, just doing my best for your loving. I can't be no one but me. Baby, can't you see? Wanna be everything you need. Everything you need. As long as love's a two-way street. You got the best of me. Can do everything I got, but I can't be something I'm not. It's something you can't change. But we gon' make it, just say, just doing my best for you, baby. I can't be nobody else. I can only be myself, just doing my best for your loving. I can't be no one but me. Baby, can't you see I'm just doing my best for you, baby? I can't be nobody else. I can only be myself, just doing my best for your loving. I can't be no one but me. Baby, can't you see? Oh, I'm just doing my best, baby. Oh, I'm just doing my best, baby.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Tuxedo doing my best with the fire video right there. It's one of my favorite videos ever. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
So we gotta talk about that. That video has it all. We got dinosaurs, we got action figures, aliens.
Shout out to Molly Adams, who directed that video for us. She's done a bunch of videos for me too, and she's one of my favorite directors of all time. But yeah, we had basically as you can tell, we are very into making unorthodox merch for ourselves, and we had made these actual action figures that you can buy. I think you can still get them on tuxedofunk.com.
Yep. I'm gonna try and throw this link in the chat actually.
All right, bet. But we were trying to figure. And we had this new song, "Doing My Best," that was kind of like a one-off single that was part of this Tuxedo's greatest hits in Japan.
Oh wow! Already?
Yeah.
Woo.
So,
Yeah.
which is already hilarious in itself. But we were trying to figure out how can we, kind of kill two birds with one stone here, and we were looking at all these old Saturday morning cartoon old on YouTube commercials for action figures, the WWF action figures and the GI Joe ones back in the day. And I was like, Molly, we need to make our version of that commercial basically for the action figures, and that's going to be the music video. And I was just gave her the idea, and she just went off, and she just nailed it.
Really?
It was incredible.
She did. It's the perfect level of of kind of kitsch and
it's perfect.
Yeah.
I knew she was going to get it too. I was like, I'm not even going to be involved anymore. I was like, you just do it because you're going to do it perfect. And she did.
Awesome. Big up. What's her name again?
Yeah. Molly Adams.
Molly Adams. Thank you, Molly Adams. That's a piece of a piece of history right there. Can you guys talk a little bit about did you guys collect those? You said you've made unauthorized merch, but did you collect GI Joes and stuff as well as records?
Oh yeah, I still have all mine. I think somewhere in a box.
I was more of a baseball card dude than action figures. I definitely had Transformers and some
Transformers
WWF ones for sure.
Right. Yeah. It was big. It was just big. It was a big if you grew up in the 90s, late 80s or that was just it was part of life.
We had to just imagine, these things moving around, and it's different.
Right. No, they were so janky back then.
They were so janky.
Yeah, none. Now the toys really do.
Yeah. Oh,
move
yeah.
And
there
shit.
you go.
There we go.
Yeah, but
missing a hand.
I mean, even Transformers were like very revolutionary because they actually did something.
They
Like
did multiple things. It wasn't just like, oh, it's
yeah,
a rubbery whatever the hell. Yeah.
yeah. Most of them were just like not even. You couldn't even move them or anything. They were just so janky. And then, but it really made you. It like forced you as a kid to like have a wild imagination. So
Yeah, for
that
sure.
maybe that helped us.
There's a great Netflix documentary on the toys that made us. Have you guys checked that out at all?
No, I seen
No,
it.
I
I
need to
seen
peep
the
that.
trailer for it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's fire. It was really cool, actually. The one specifically about Transformers, they talk a lot about how they were already a toy in Japan for many years, so this might tie in well with the greatest hit story.
Right.
and
you go.
and basically, like an American Hasbro, I guess, came over and saw this, and they were like, "Oh, we got to do this," and then
They
just
were
This
right.
is gonna
yeah.
be a home run. Yeah.
So and then they did the ultimate thing for kids, which was combine Transformers and dinosaurs, which are like the two things that kids adore.
That's it. Construction, and dinosaurs, and yeah, Transformers all in one.
It's like takes all the boxes for a kid. It's great.
Yeah, no, they were getting that bread.
Absolutely. So you guys were talking about working on some official remixes currently, but are you working on album 4? Like what are your guys' priorities right now?
Man, we have 0 songs for album 4 right now.
Oh shit.
We have
We are.
some tracks that we like, but we gotta like
Yeah,
just get together and do it.
so I live in Los Angeles and Jake lives in Seattle, and kind of our thing for the whole time we've been a group is we don't make songs over the internet.
Right.
We like to be in the same room and really doing it together in the studio. So yeah, we've got some ideas for what we want to do for the next record. There will be a Tuxedo 4 at some point, but
Yeah, I mean
we're getting there
it's
slowly.
also
We're
one of
taking our
these things
time.
like we know what it's supposed to be and what feels right. So it's not
Right.
like when we were making that first album, I mean some of that stuff was 5 years old. It was, we didn't really know what it was until the last year of making it. So um we didn't have a formula or even know what the formula was trying to be. So
Yeah, it
as we
did
made
take a
the other
long time.
records, yeah, it's been easier.
It took a while to figure out, yeah, exactly what the Tuxedo formula is and what is our thing, that's going to be our own thing
Right.
that doesn't just sound like an old 80s record,
Right.
because that's important to us.
To develop to create more like another an iteration of Tuxedo, you mean?
Well, just I think in general, like the hip hop component that we put in what we're doing is what makes it a bit different from like a Kashif record or something. I mean, beyond that, they're just better at it than us. We'll never be able to make it quite like them. So we use the technology, we use the hip hop brain that we have more than anything. I think that's the part of it that makes it unique. We're gonna try to find that 4 bars that feels like that you want to hear for 4 minutes.
Right,
And I feel
right,
like even talking to like guys that made records in those eras, they weren't really thinking that way. They were just jamming. They would jam, and then a song would come out of it, or it wouldn't. So
right.
the process of which you make our stuff is so much more informed by like our hip hop sides,
Definitely.
I
And
definitely
our
hear.
DJing and our
and
DJing
DJing. Yeah.
backgrounds too. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely hear that too, and I think it's interesting. Even I know, Mary, you've worked with Pharrell on things. Even his approach, which also seems to be very influenced, like we were talking about, like with Battle Cat, where it's informed by Kashif and Prince and all these like
Oh yeah,
classic
for
artists.
sure.
Sure, yeah.
But then they are, like you said, similar to that, taking that hip hop, that 4 bar loop or 8 bar phrase that you want to hear on loop with a modern production element to it,
Right.
and then bringing it to the future. It's super dope.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
like we were talking about Battle Cat earlier, how like Battle Cat can make anything a Battle Cat version, and I think what we managed to do with Tuxedo now, it's like I feel like I can make a Tuxedo version of like anything I like. Um, which is, that's how you have a sound, really, that's what it comes down to. Now we're always going to tweak things and make, like, for me, I kind of feel like we went a little cleaner on 3, so maybe we'll go dirtier on 4. Like, there's always going to be some subtle tweak, but there's certain things that are always going to be in there,
Right. Usually we get a couple new toys for each album.
Yeah, more keyboards,
more synthesizers and whatever. Yeah, right, exactly.
Here we go. I was waiting for this.
Whatever the latest toys are, that they usually have a bigger role on the new album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. Actually, one of the things I liked about doing my best, actually, I hear like the way the sounds are. It's like this. I don't even know what instruments you guys used on that, but there's a certain mid-range warmth, and I'd love to learn more about that. I don't know if that's something we can go into right now. It might be
that record was really done off this keyboard, the Memory Moog, which Drew has behind him too, which is kind of like, we've used on a lot of records. Yeah, we have his Memory Moogs. But honestly, that keyboard has probably been used on 90% of our big records, are the ones people like the most. Just something about it that cuts through. And then there's like, I feel like there's something different when I end up making the beat without like other people making the chords make more sense, or when I just have the quirkiness, and when I'm just making it, there's some music theory stuff that's like all the way wrong, but it's definitely a more hard hitting thing, like a So Good, or like even Doing My Best is one kind of like, and Drew will tell you I probably end up playing the same bass line like 40 million different times with like 2 variations, and I'm like, oh, this is a new one. He'll be like, but that's the same bass line again,
Same bass line, but it's like, that's kind of the beauty of Tuxedos. We've managed to like make it work for so many different songs. And the moment when you realize that it's all actually the same bass line is like, when it's like, oh shit.
Somebody else told me that about like 2 of the songs, and I was like, damn, I didn't even think of it, but you're right.
Hey, if it sounds good though, that's what it's about, right?
It's part of having a sound. It's part of having your own style. That's a thing that we're willing to just, it just works for us.
Right.
Absolutely. Speaking of sounds, actually, I wouldn't mind talking to you a bit about Jake, specifically your production history. You're both extremely accomplished on your own. But I'd like to just talk a little bit about your sound packs, Snare Jordan. Great name. Love that one so much. I actually
have RC.
He gave me that one, man. Thank you again.
RC is RC from Toronto?
From Toronto.
Yeah. Big up RC.
He's actually who AR Music is named after too.
Oh, no way. Yeah, that's it for sure. And then you've obviously worked with so many incredible artists: J. Cole, Drake, MF Doom, 50 Cent, G Unit, John Cena. Got to put that one in there. Make sure that's his walking out music, right? You did his theme music.
Yeah.
And then I've been loving your Behind the Beat series. I just watched the one with Larry June. So can you just like talk a bit about your approach making beats for artists versus making tracks for Tuxedo?
When I'm making like hip hop beats, they're really for nobody in particular. So it's so different in that I never am like, man, I got to make the Drake album. I'm gonna make something for him today. Like I just make what I make, and then I'm gonna send it to his ass, or I'm gonna send it to Cole or wherever, and I hope they get on it. But I feel like anytime I try to cater to like an artist in particular, it doesn't usually work.
No.
Tuxedo is totally different because when I'm making that, it's purely for that purpose. So, but I also have a little more of a say on whether, the artist is going to do the song. So maybe that's part of it too. But I do think there's like a point in that when I was making some of the early Tuxedo stuff, some of that came over into my hip hop side. Definitely like started making things a little more melodic. I don't know, 2012, 13-ish or 10. I don't know. When did the first album came out? 2015. So a couple of years before that. And I feel like I was finding a a sweet spot of like both of them. And I featured Mayor on some beats. Like I'll sample his background vocals and throw him in stuff. Like that plaque he has behind him. There was a song I did for Future called "Looking Exotic," and I threw some of his background vocals from a Tuxedo song in there because I can, and I just like. I feel like that's the stuff that makes what I do different versus everybody else.
That's dope. I didn't know that. So what was that Future song again?
It's called "Looking Exotic." It's on. It's the Hendrix album, right?
Future Hendrix.
Yep.
Oh, that's fire. So Future Tuxedo collab happened.
Yeah, I mean they basically Mayor and Future did a duet. Like people don't know, but
people don't even know.
That's
fire. And then did you name the sound packs? Like you have you're a sneaker collector, is that right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I've always been into, it's funny, man. I feel like it's so predictable, but like, I mean, every old dude that has records got sneakers, and now they're on baseball cards, and I don't know what the next thing is they're gonna be doing.
Why?
Reissuing records or something. Maybe that'll be my next thing, so I can fit the whole, circle of.
You can hit the trifecta.
Yeah, the '90s rap dude trifecta.
It's dope though, man. It's a great name, Snare Jordan. I love it. And you guys
Snare Jordan has been a blessing. It's crazy to see like how many big songs even have like my stuff in there. I'm like, I know that snare. That's my snare, or like that's my sweep. It's dope, man. I love it. I've like kind of slowed down on it because I've just been lazy. I feel like people are doing a lot of cool sounds. When we started doing Snare Jordan in 2000, I don't know, 11, 12, there wasn't many things out like that. So it was like really a new thing. And at the time when I did, I was like, man, if I give people my drum sounds or their beats going to sound like me, nobody's going to want my beats anymore. And the funny part is that I would hear people's beats and they sounded nothing like mine. So it ended up working out.
That's so dope.
And I think I would even argue that it's made people want your beats even more.
Right, because they can't exactly do it the way I do it, even with my sounds. Yeah. And that's like, I don't know. It's just my brain, I guess.
It was really cool, too, actually. The article that on NPR about the story about making the record for Drake, the second part of Furthest Thing.
Right.
And you also talk about, a mutual friend of ours, Gene Brown.
Yeah.
And that whole story. I thought that was really dope, too, man. How did you meet Gene?
Man, what's really funny about Gene Brown? Gene Brown's kind of like record dealer to the stars. I wouldn't say I'm one of the stars, but your Just Blazes and Questloves and Kenny Dopes or whoever it is. Gene Brown's selling them records. Gene Brown had a friend that played for the Seahawks in, I don't know, early 2000s. And this was before the internet was a thing and you couldn't find people, right? So I went to a record store, Golden Oldies, and this dude was like, some guy's looking for you. His name's Gene Brown. and left like a piece of paper.
I didn't know this story. Damn, I've never heard this.
Yeah. So that's how I met him. That's really how we connected back then.
It's incredible.
And we just stayed cool. And,
what a great business model.
Yeah, I mean, that's how this was the times, right? There also wasn't that many people doing this, it wasn't like
it's very
there
niche.
wasn't as many people chasing these records and in this, community. So chances are if I could name any city and I would know about a person there, even if I didn't know him,
Right.
Yeah, big shout out to Gene Brown though. Like you said, record dealer to the stars, and he was part of that record too. It was just that I'm gonna link that article in a second on NPR because it was just a fascinating story about the whole production of that song and all the different pieces.
It's crazy how much goes into some of these things, and sometimes how little goes into it. So it just totally depends. Like sometimes I might make something in 20 minutes, and that ends up being the song. Sometimes we gotta do all these other things. Like, I mean, for instance, Do It My Best, that was like the third version of that song. We kept trying different versions of that song. We never liked any of them.
That might have been the sixth or seventh version of that.
Right? And there was, it got to a point where I was like, I don't even like this anymore. Like, what did we do? And we ended up going back to one of the earlier versions. Like, no, we had it on the third one, So
right. So
you just never know.
You never know. Sometimes we just will like with Fucks with the Tux, We had the idea, like it was literally started from a joke in the elevator coming down to the lobby in the hotel.
Yeah,
And
we were like
then
in Germany. Yeah.
we got back home, came to my house in LA, literally made that whole track in what, 15 minutes or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was quick.
And
It was
that was
quick.
it. That's the version that you hear on the album, is that version. And then sometimes, yeah, there's a song that we started, 7
Because
years
there was
ago,
a
and
whole nother version of Doing My Best over a whole different beat, whole different style of singing, and
I remember
that
at
was
one
one of the
point, like,
first songs we ever made.
yeah, I think Wale was on it at one point, even like,
Yeah, Wale was on. That was in like I think that was like some of the early sessions. Like Mac Miller was there.
Oh wow.
He happened to
right,
be in
yep,
Seattle. He was hanging out in the studio that day, and he's thinking like, man, I want to get a beat from you, and I want Mary to sing. He was so puzzled by what was going on. He was like, what is it? What is this? Like he didn't even understand what we were even trying to do.
right.
That's crazy. I mean, those are some stories, guys. I really that's some cool history right there.
Mm.
Mayor, actually, your career obviously very impressive. Grammy-nominated artist, big singles we all know and love. But your original record for Stones, from what I've read, was created to be like a sample library for producers to sample, kind of similar
You were early on that.
to Frank Dukes,
I
right?
was kind of early on that, but it really came out of my frugal Jewish background of not wanting to pay for sample clearance.
I mean,
I was like, how, because I was like originally, back in the DJ haircut days, I was sampling like Eddie Kendricks or whoever, and they would come after us, and we'd have to pay them like $5,000 or
Yeah,
something to
all
clear
it
this
all it
sample.
takes is to get hit that one time, and you find new ways. It creates a new style for you sometimes.
And I got really sick of, we would barely make that much on the whole album, and I would give all the money to the guy we sampled, and I was like, man, this is just not a valuable business model here. Like, I need to figure out how to just make. And I was like, I play all these instruments, and I can sing whatever a little bit, and I was like, I'll just start making my own samples, and then I can sample myself, and I won't have to pay for the sample clearance. And that's kind of how Mayor Hawthorne was born.
that's incredible. I think singing a bit is maybe a bit of an understatement there. At this point, we've
Well,
proven.
no, I appreciate that, but I really had no idea what I was doing at all. I still am like very no, I have no formal training at all in it. It's really just all been trial and error.
Yeah. I mean, I think though, but what both of you guys are saying though, I mean, it's not so much about the training as much as it is about having a good ear and figuring out a good sound and having trust in that.
I mean, I think having a good ear is something you just can't teach. Whereas,
Yeah,
like when I went through my losing hella money on samples back in the day, I didn't have an alternative for it. I had to figure out ways to like learn how to play. So it started that next chapter in my career, which led us to Tuxedo. Because if I wouldn't have been taking piano lessons and learning some basic ass chords, I would have been able to make those
right,
beats. So
right.
it's funny how that works. Sometimes it's like it was almost a blessing to like not get any publishing on some of these songs. I say that now, but
And now it's
Now
interesting.
look at you playing piano on stage.
right. Imagine that.
Oh, and also you guys got sampled, right? You guys got sampled by Pitbull.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So Pitbull came to us when we only had the song on SoundCloud. Do It was only on SoundCloud, and at first I kind of thought it was like somebody. Yeah.
Oh wow, here it is.
I didn't think it was real at first, honestly. When I heard about it, I'm like, man, Pitbull don't want to use our song. Hell no, And then they sent us a version with Pitbull on it, and I was like, holy shit, he's really gonna use this. And this is when he was popping. So I was like, man,
Yeah.
Pitbull is gonna like make our song a hit. I'm retiring. I'm quitting. Like, no more.
Yeah, We
And
really thought we were gonna make millions of dollars off of that.
He wanted to sign us as a group too, which was crazy. And
wow.
yeah, I mean, we weren't even putting an album out at that point. So it was just, the whole thing was bizarre, but it was cool. And then we managed to maintain the rights to put out our own version. And it's funny that like our version ended up being the one with just us on it, because I mean, just theoretically, you would think the bigger artists would have had the bigger song.
Yeah,
I mean, Mr. Worldwide.
It's amazing that our version without Pitbull ended up arguably being the bigger version of the song. But it's shout out to Armando.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I've heard a lot of things about him, how he's very tuned into DJ culture. So if DJs are playing something, he wants to be on.
He had to be to know about our shit. That was crazy to be like. I mean, I was wondering who put him up on that.
Yeah,
he was obviously really paying attention. So
this was like prime SoundCloud era. So I think people were really about discovering new music on there. And we put those 3 songs on there. Yeah, and it just kind of. It went and told us, hey, we should probably finish this album and put it out.
That's awesome. Hey, so Mayor, I also discovered you have a song with Bobby Caldwell. Obviously, I know Bobby Caldwell primarily because of so many great samples from him. Can you just it's a great song, by the way. Can you tell me a little bit about the influence of Bobby on you? And no doubt, there's probably been some comparisons made here, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think guys like Bobby Caldwell and Dennis Coffey and they were kind of the guys that told me it's okay for you as a white dude to try to make soulful music. And as you could tell, when you listen to Bobby Caldwell's music, you can hear the reverence that he has for it, and he just cares so much about that music. You can just hear it in it, and that was definitely hugely influential for me as an artist.
Yeah, I mean, how many great songs? I mean, all these albums. I got so many of his albums, and there's just so many amazing compositions on there, and he's killing it as a vocalist, killing it as a musician. He's amazing.
Yeah, that was also a real a rude awakening for me when I had kind of come off my biggest album ever. I just dropped How Do You Do, and I was touring all over the world and selling a lot of records, and then I wrote this song with Bobby Caldwell, and I had basically demoed the song out and done my verse on it. And I really thought, I had crushed it. I was like, this is some of my best work. And I felt like I was singing really, really well. And I had done a bunch of vocal training with my vocal coach, and I was feeling so good about it. And Bobby came in and just slaughtered me on it. When I heard his part, I was like, "Are you kidding me? How can you still be this good?"
Wow, yeah, he's
a legend.
Are there what would Mayor first? What would be your quintessential Bobby Caldwell track?
What's Coming Down from Love? That's the one for me. Or My Flame. My Flame is one that definitely DJs would all love. I'm sure it's been sampled before.
Yeah, that Biggie one. Biggie sampled it, right?
Right. Yeah. That's the My Flame one. Yeah, right. Yeah. But Coming Down from Love is the one that, I don't know, that's my personal, just anytime I hear that song, I'm like, wow, this is just one of the best songs ever written.
What about you, Jake? What's your quintessential Bobby Caldwell?
I got to go What You Won't Do for Love.
Yeah.
That's the obvious one. But, My Flame is great. That whole Cat in the Hat album I like a lot too, though.
I feel
is
that his second album? That must be his second album.
I'm not too sure. One of the ones that I feel doesn't get quite as much love is Carry On, the Bobby Caldwell track. It's another jam.
Absolutely,
So one more question for you, Mayor. Being from Michigan, Ann Arbor specifically, right? But so such a close proximity to Detroit, and obviously being such a center of soul music and amazing music of many genres, techno, house, hip hop, shit. Can you tell us a little bit about the influence of Detroit on you as a musician?
I mean, I think by the time I was born, Motown had already long moved to California, and Detroit had definitely like fallen into tough decline. Um, so like there was kind of like that, a shadow of the former glory of that all that soul music was there, and then all the records were still there in the record stores. So I got a really healthy dose of like that soul education from just digging in record stores in Detroit. And my dad grew up there, was born and raised like in the city, went to Mumford High where they like shot Beverly Hills Cop, and he taught me a lot about that music. But then, growing up in Ann Arbor, just like down the road, it's a college town, and it's a lot more, it was like kind of more of a hippie psychedelic vibe. Like Ann Arbor's kind of famous for having the hash bash, which is like one of the first, it was like kind of like the original marijuana legalization event that would happen every year.
The hash
It was
bash.
like the hash bash was
That's
like
dope.
this big festival they would do kind of every year. I think it's in like April or something, around 420, and around
Of
April
course.
20th or something every year. And so, I mean, like Iggy Pop went to my high school, and Bob Seger is from Ann Arbor, and there was a lot of like kind of psychedelic rock and punk and things like that that are from Ann Arbor. And it was just like going to a record store in Ann Arbor versus Detroit, you would find a lot more of those like weird psychedelic hippie things. And it's just kind of the combo of those two definitely, I think, kind of made me who I am.
That's dope. Yeah, it's interesting. Even being a fan of Jay Dilla, obviously such a important producer. Even
Right,
hearing
right.
what you're saying though about like psychedelic rock was obviously very present in a lot of his productions
Yeah.
too. So that really provides
Yeah.
some context on that.
Well, that was the first time I met Jay Dilla, was not in Detroit. It was in Ann Arbor, because
Oh
he would
wow.
come to Ann Arbor because he knew that was where all the like psychedelic rock records were that he liked to sample. They were all in Ann Arbor.
Oh, that's
So
dope.
he would come to the record stores in Ann Arbor a lot, and I would see him there.
Awesome.
But yeah, and then later down the road, like my first record deal ever, be well way before Mayor Hawthorne days, when I was the DJ for a rap group in Ann Arbor, we signed our first record deal to Barack Records, which was the home of Slum Village and Jay Dilla. And I even did like scratches, record scratches on some of the early Slum Village albums.
No way. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's a gem
Yep.
right there.
Yep. That's a lot of people missed that in the credits.
I want to. Can you tell me a specific record that we might find or online somewhere?
The one I remember the most was I think it's on Detroit Deli. It's called Things We Do.
Okay, awesome. That's dope, man. I've never heard that ever. I don't know if you've ever told that in other interviews, but that's news to me, man.
Now, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. That was amazing for us. I mean, getting to like see how they worked too was just so, because they were so different. They were just so unique and so different from every other rap group at the time. And now their influence has spread like throughout every kind of music. Back then they were just, I mean, I will never forget like hearing their records for the first time, just being like, is this rap? Like, are they even rap music? It was so different, so ahead of its time.
Yeah. Jake, for you, growing up, you grew up in Seattle. Can you talk a little bit about the influence of growing up Pacific Northwest and the kind of culture there for you as a beat maker?
I think the unique thing Seattle has is people here. I mean, we're definitely West Coast. So like I'd say majority of the people were listening to like, DJ Quick and stuff from the Bay, 40, when I was growing up, or early Too Short. I remember when the white Too Short tape came out. I mean, I was there when that came out. When I was 12 years old, 10 years old.
Born to Mac.
So it kind of gave, even though I loved a lot of East Coast rap, it gave me like a different perspective on, my approach to it, because I was always into the bass lines and stuff like that, which the East Coast guys were more like, it was a lot of drums and, loud drums and samples, and I loved all that, but their stuff didn't really bump. You played in your car, you'd be like, I don't really hear nothing in the bottom, you know what I mean? So
you're not talking about Eric Sermon.
Guys really doing that, like Eric Sermon was like really the one East Coast dude back then that was really playing bass lines, and that's why we liked him so much here, right?
Yeah.
Dilla came later and kind of combined all those things, and when I heard his beats originally, I thought like, oh man, he's like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I like. It's funky,
right?
But it has the texture of the East Coast stuff. But Seattle's, it's a sleepy place. Like it's definitely become more of a big city as time has gone on. But like, our rap scene was definitely extremely unheralded, when I was coming up. So we were really doing it for ourselves. We didn't have we had Mix-a-Lot, but he's significantly older than me. So like there was nobody in my era that really made it, when I was coming up to look up to. So we kind of just had to create our own thing. And, it forced us to like just love what we were doing more so than trying to compete. It's like I didn't have a person down the street from me that made a hit song or, any of that. I didn't know anybody that really accomplished much in those times as far as on a national scale. So I was always just making beats that was dope to me and my friends, or, having like somebody like Vitamin D around me. Like he was as good as anybody to me. So like, I would just go down the street to his house and be blown away every day by what he was doing, But, it was pre-internet, so it was like the stuff, it was just hard to get out there. And I'm sure every city had a lot of unheralded people in those times because it was so much harder to get discovered. But, our musical lineage here is like, it's crazy. I mean, we got Jimi Hendrix, we got Quincy Jones, we got Ish from Digable Planets. We got Philip Wu, who I didn't even know was from here, who's from my neighborhood, played on Everybody Loves the Sunshine, every Roy Ayers song.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's from like 8 blocks of where I live right now, and grew up
Maze
here.
too, right?
Yeah, played on Before I Let Go for Maze.
Oh wow.
I mean, he comes back to town, and I feel like it's my duty to like, have him over and just bring people here and be like, you need to know who this is. Like, we should be proud of this as for Seattle, And it's crazy seeing people look on their face like, this dude, he's like a 60-something-year-old Chinese dude. Like, how was he doing that?
He's a synth player?
He played on Everybody Loves the Sunshine. Like, that's him playing piano on there.
Oh, that's him on piano.
The keyboards.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, our legacy is strong, and things have obviously happened more in modern times that, rap has gotten a shot. But, I wasn't into, like, any of the grunge rock. Like, I didn't fuck with that at all. Like, I didn't even know what the dudes in Pearl Jam looked like, to the point that I was playing basketball with Jeff, the bass player. It's probably 10 years ago. For 2 years, didn't even know who that was.
That's
like,
crazy.
This is how much I'm in hip-hop mode. I just didn't care. So, it's been cool to, like, make it out of here and be somebody that, like, paved the way for some of the stuff that's happened after me. I'm always proud of all of it. So, yeah, it's great. I mean, I just love being here because it's home, and I just feel like I'm competing with myself in my environment. I feel like if I'd have moved to LA or New York, I probably would have sold all the way out and been making pop music trying to get to the money. Because that's what happens, you know. Like you just get caught up trying to compete with your peers, and
Right.
it just never was really like that here. I've managed to kind of maintain that, just doing what I want to do vibe, you know.
That's super dope about the Jeff Ament thing. I know that.
He can hoop too. Don't sleep,
Yeah.
Jeff used to kick my ass out there some days.
Well, yeah, I'm a bass player personally, so I know Jeff from being a bass player when I was a teenager, and I know specifically something that you'll like, Jake, is that he had a bass that was custom glassed with all these basketball trading cards in it.
That sounds like some shit he would do.
That's actually really fire.
Yeah, right? It's like super dope. And he was always, I know those guys were always rocking J's too. I think 80 Veteran.
Yeah,
had
man,
some sixes.
it was, you know, it's so funny. Like, I should have known, because I'd even be like, why is this? I mean, he's probably 10 years older than me. Maybe, I don't know, something like that. I'd be like, how is this old white dude just have, like, every NBA team's, like, practice outfit? Like, he'd be like,
Wow.
Memphis Grizzlies, like, head to toe, but the shit they wear. I'm like, and I remember one day he was like, oh, yeah, you know, we do shows. The equipment managers always come and give me stuff. And I was like, damn, that's pretty dope. Doesn't quite happen for us when we do tuxedo shows.
Right, yeah. We haven't got
We're not
that
playing
far
in the
yet.
same place that the Grizzlies play, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, yeah, I feel like it's probably a good idea to let the people in the chat know that if you guys have any questions, now would be the time to throw them in the chat. And we can
How
try
do I
and...
see the chat? Because I don't see it on here.
Oh, it should... well, I guess you just have to see it on Twitch if it's not showing up in there. It should have shown up in there, but I'll read them out.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So-
yeah, all right.
If you got any questions in the chat, feel free to throw them in. I got a couple more questions, of course. Just around, you know, over the last year, obviously, you guys have talked about, you know, being kind of separated due to COVID. Did you guys like gain any skills, either music related or non-music related, because of that separation?
I don't know about skills, but I gained a fiance.
Oh wow! Congratulations, man.
That's a big development.
Thank you. It's pretty big, yeah.
I think I made way more music. Just not going on tour, like just being home like every day. I got into like a routine again. It felt like the old days. But yeah, I definitely didn't like learn how to build a house or you know, even really play keyboards any better.
I can vouch for that.
It's good to see how you guys are very comfortable giving you guys criticisms and feedback. It's a healthy relationship.
No, come on, yeah. We bust each other's chops. That's nonstop. That's if you can't take it, you can't be in Tuxedo.
No, you can't.
Actually, speaking of Tuxedo, Gavin Turek is a singer. Is she an official member of Tuxedo?
Not really, but
when she wants to be, she is. You know,
yeah,
whenever we can have her, she's with us.
An unofficial member for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you guys. I think we were performing in downtown LA, you know, quite a few years ago. And Gavin was on tour with you guys, and she was in the band, and I was like, wow, she is amazing. I mean, it was an amazing show.
Yeah.
I got a bravo to you guys, and yeah, I saw you guys both playing synths, which was super dope. And Gavin was on there, and she was killing it too.
We just did a show with her in LA 2 weeks ago with Zapp and One Way,
Oh wow,
Slave. There was a ton of people on that show, but
was that the Hidden Switches show?
Yeah, something like that. No, it's called OC Funk Fest.
Okay,
OC Funk Fest or something like that. Yeah.
Wow, what a lineup.
Yeah, it was incredible.
We have a question from DJ Black Rabbit out in LA. He wants to know specifically for Jake, what was the first synth you bought yourself? I think you guys could probably both answer that.
I think it's actually in LA with all the Tuxedo gear, but the first two I bought was a Juno 6. I think it was $300. I bought that in 2006 when I got like my first publishing deal. I was like, man, I'm gonna buy some keyboards, and I bought the Juno 6 and the sequential 6-track. Is that what's called, 6-track?
Yeah.
And both of those actually tour with Tuxedo, so I haven't had those in my house for a long time.
It's pretty
and somehow
adventurous.
they're still working with us, taking them around the world. I don't know how.
Yeah, they've been repaired here and there, but those are some tanks. Yeah,
The
those
Juno is
really,
a tank for sure. Like
the Juno's a tank.
Yeah.
I think that was the first one I bought as well, was the Juno 60, which I still have in the studio right behind me.
Classic. I got another one. I got another one for Jake here from Ross Hogg. He's asking, you've worked with E40, Turf Talk, and Larry June. Are there any other Bay Area rappers that you're feeling?
Bay Area rappers I'm feeling right now. I mean, me and Pilo were supposed to have been done something for a while. Pilo was supposed to get on a Tuxedo song, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna happen.
That's my dude. Me and Drew both like him a lot.
Yeah.
I've been doing more stuff with Larry. I actually got back with 40 recently. I had a really funny E40 story because he's one of the first dudes to like buy a beat from me that was big, fly me somewhere and all that stuff. Like I went to Sacramento. It's probably 2002 or something. But anyways, he called me out the blue like maybe 2 months ago, and he had recorded some beats he had gotten. Sent me the songs, they were dope. But I happened to pick up this record. I'm gonna get the record real quick. I picked up this record that his uncle made, Chucky Thurman.
And
I showed it to him, and he freaked out because he was like, "I didn't even know this existed."
Oh wow.
Yeah, Chucky Thurman. It's a really rare record. I've been looking for it for like 20-something years. So, anyways, 40 Water was extremely impressed with that
as
with that record.
That's on some Nardwar shit right
Uncle
there.
on Three-Way and all
Yeah.
that. So, anytime I just talk to him, man, I feel like I get something out of it. Like him being like somebody that's a little bit older than me and a generation older, and he still has the passion to do it. Just keeps me going. I'm like, I can't complain about being old if this dude's out here going so hard.
Yeah. And he's got the liquor, what is it, the wine, or what is he doing? He's diversified very much.
He's got
both.
He's got
Both.
Lupias. I mean, Water is he's an enterprising young man. That's for sure.
He is an enterprise.
That's awesome. Hey, okay, so I gotta ask you guys both the question specifically. We ask every guest that comes on the show the same question. Feel free to answer independently or together, however you feel. What does the power of music mean to you?
Man, you know what? We were actually I was having a conversation with my manager about this earlier today. And I think for me, really what it comes down to is I don't think there is anything more powerful than music for bringing people of all walks of life together that would not normally ever interact or be in the same place. I think nothing is more powerful than music for making that happen. And like just getting people together to have a good time who are just, from all ages and ethnicities and genders, everything. Like everybody comes together and agrees this music is dope.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same way. Jake, did you want to answer that too?
It's funny. I was having a argument about music like I do a lot of my friends, but it's like it's like the most fun argument, and it's funny how we all really feel so passionately that we're right about what's good and what isn't, and I don't feel that strongly about that many things in the world like that. You know what I mean? Besides my family, so it's crazy how much I care, about whether this album from 1992 is better than this other one. Like that it still gets me that like inspired, and I care that much. There's nothing else in the world I care about like that. So, I mean, and we're always going to have that,
Oh yeah, Twitter is alight with these expressions.
Yeah,
and
I don't argue on Twitter anymore because I think when I had my kid, I was like, I can't be arguing with people on Twitter no more. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm too old
I'm too grown for this.
But I would definitely argue in person with my friends all day. But yeah, not strangers. It's a little crazy.
That's awesome. Well, I think now's the time where if you guys want to shout anyone out or let anyone know anything that you guys have got coming up that we should be checking out for, whether it's shows or releases, now is the time to let us know if you can think of anything.
I got the Rare Changes tour. I'm coming to a town near you, and tickets are available now. Just go to mayorhawthorne.com, and I'm gonna see y'all. We're bringing the all new band.
Yeah, it's likely that I might pull up to a couple of those shows and fuck up one of his songs on the stage like I always do.
So a potential,
just to make it feel at home.
Yeah. A potential Tuxedo DJ set,
would
though?
only be right.
I don't know what we're DJing. No, this is on his set. I'm gonna come up there and do a song with him and play the wrong notes like I like to do. You know.
Awesome.
Hey, well,
I want to say thank you guys so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and it was really great to talk to you just about all sorts of nerdy shit and getting some interesting history too. I did want to play one more song to let everyone, to ride out to, I guess. And I wanted to choose the song "Own Thing" by Tuxedo featuring Tony.
Yeah, sleeper.
Which is one of my favorite.
Deep cut.
Yeah, just because I love Tony. Raphael Sadiq, man.
Well, we have the story on that one's really funny because we were doing the Fucks with the Tux video, and the people doing the video rented like an old school car for us to ride in on. I think we're only in the opening of the video, and the car happened to be Dwayne Wiggins' car. So Dwayne Wiggins is like. He's listening to them play the song back.
Not only
and
was
like,
it his car,
I know about you guys.
Not only was it his car, but he delivered it himself.
He did deliver the car.
Oh, wow.
So that's how we connected with him. He wanted to do a record with us, so we were like, of course.
Well, I've also got an interesting development here. Mishiro, who's in the chat, said she was in the video.
Hey,
that's what's up.
And she was one of the dancers. So big up, shout out Mishiro.
Yeah, shout out, big up.
So yeah, we're gonna roll out to "Own Thing" by Tuxedo featuring Tony. Thank you so much again, Jake and Mayor, for your time.
Peace,
it's been a pleasure to have you guys, and
peace and love.
Look forward to seeing you guys in the real world very soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, peace. Jake.
Dressed up in your best of looking fly. Keep on stepping down that soul train line. You've been clocking, watching patiently. Watching patiently. Turning up your personality, and now you've made it through the spotlight. It's on you. So do your own thing, baby. No one else can shade your shine. Just do your own thing, baby. Candy colored lights jump off the walls. Funky strobe lights dancing disco balls. Every step you your shine. Just do your own thing, baby. Just keep moving down the line because you only get one time.